This video is about dealing with unfairness, also known as just reality. Personal business, I guess this might be under the business tag. I'm not sure. But personal issue with, or a business issue that I had was permitting. Going through permitting with the city, dealing with all types of back and forth. Took us over a year. Part of the problem was our general contractor who had a permit runner, and the permit runner is the one that dealt with, most of the getting the plans to the proper departments, which she really didn't. And we had to also deal with the general contractor even at the end of all of this, kind of stiffing us and screwing us on that. And that was, of course, no fun, and that just delays everything, and it causes us to have to shell out some money that we didn't have beforehand, that was planned for other things. And then I look at, then the back and forth with the fire department and their permitting, making sure that everything gets done per code, up to fire code. Over and over again, we had about 3 different fire inspections that we had to do, that we kept on failing because every single time somebody came out with a different thing that they wanted. They wanted a fire affidavit here, they wanted this over here, so on and so forth. BS with the general contractor getting into it with with one of the inspectors for one of the permits. All these different things start to just mount on top of one another and causes delays, which causes you to pay even more money in rent and other expenses that you have to deal with, and then you have to pretty much float this business until it actually opens, and then you're just sitting there kind of screwed, But then comes the unfairness part, or perceived unfairness. And of course, this is somewhat of an emotional stance, to some extent. But then comes the unfairness in the fact that when you look at the another establishment, we have a salon in that area, a salon barbershop in that same plaza. But then we have, say, a Dollar Tree, larger company, more money, holds a little bit more weight, and it's possible that they just had better general contractors. Of course, they have a procedure and service. And look at this dummy. Did he just pop a wheelie? Wow. Anyways. So, look at this. This is crazy. This is crazy. Wow. Alright. And he's still doing it, too. Wow, that's amazing, actually. Sorry, focusing. Back on track here, focusing. So, you have a larger company like Dollar Tree. They come into the plaza, and pretty much they can just throw their weight around in a sense. And it brings to mind a couple of things, but one is just the unfairness of the process. Dollar Tree guts in there, and they probably get their project done in less than 3-4 months. We have our job done, and it takes a longer period of time. Now, again, this can go back to your general contractor who you select for that. This can go back to your permit runner, who, in our case, our permit runner was a complete freaking idiot. And she, supposedly she wasn't actually doing her job. So she would deliver things to the city, but not the county. That's what's required in Miami. In some cases, you have to deliver permit sets or inspection sets to both the city and the county, so they both can have it. But you're seeing that even with that and the back and forth, and even dealing with stuff like for the fire inspection, we still had issues, but not, and that caused our project to go on a year, a whole year and 2 months to be just somewhat exact. And that's crazy to me. But I have to look at it and say, hey, listen, that's unfair. the overall point that I really want to make in this is, even though it's unfair, you have to deal with it. And we did. We dealt with it over and over again. We handled any and all obstacles and things that were in our way. And we came out and we finished the project. Now, of course, now money's starting to come in. The business is starting to pay for itself already. We had a couple things that, I guess you could say concessions, or the landlord looked out for us on like a couple more months of free rent. So that was good. We cut that deal. Again, that's just handling it and trying to be savvy and being good in terms of, like, you know, landlord-tenant relationship. Communicating with all parties where necessary, ensuring that we did what we were supposed to do in a timely fashion to make sure, and then of course doing projection and modeling, which is on my side of things, to make sure that all the money's there when it needs to be done there, and not having any issues or problems. So, I mean, that whole long story and a little bit of entertainment from the guy popping a wheelie on the bike there, just to say that even though these issues come up and you have unfairness or perceived unfairness, it's just reality. It's just the way the situation is. I mean, yeah, we're not Dollar Tree. We don't have that type of clout. We don't have that type of money. We don't have that type of push or pull, whatever you want to call it. Clout was fine enough. But you still have to deal with it. And until you become that bigger fish, in a sense, where you can say, hey, listen, man, I need this done, or push through, or what do I have to do? And you can throw money at the situation. You have to be savvy, you know, deal with the unfairness. And deal with the unfairness, not with just a smile on your face, but with your emotions pressed down and held back, so that you can actually make an informed and proper decision in terms of getting certain things done. And for instance, if you go into a situation where you have like all types of crazy emotion, then you're going to start doing like weird things and stupid things, like backing out of a deal that actually might be good for you, or spending too much money in certain areas, you know, not communicating right, or having a communication breakdown between you and your partners, which of course can lead to even more stress on the partnership. You know, I've had to hold my tongue quite a bit towards like even both of my partners, or even my partners in my other business. So when I look at all this stuff and I go back and forth, I'm like, holy shit, this is crazy, because I have to do so much to deal with the perceived unfairness or reality of the situation. I want it to go a certain way in my mind, and it's just not. Mike, it's not your world. You know, you're pretty much just trying to get whatever scraps you can right now until you build up to be a little bit stronger, so you can start doing more real estate, or, you know, do bigger deals with real estate, other businesses and other products and all types of things. And if you don't keep your head or keep your wits about you, it can really turn into something that can really be your downfall and be detrimental to you. So I just say, hey, listen, when you're dealing with unfairness, I understand. It sucks. You don't want it. But it's reality. You're going to have to deal with it. Thank you for listening. I appreciate you.